So Kamala Harris, what can you say about this woman? She's underwhelming in all ways measurable, I would say, in my opinion. I don't know why she's the presumptive nominee at this point. And yeah, it seems that the media are starting to get on board with her being quite the dumpster fire. Let me read this article here. This is a surprise article. I got to say, this is the surprise article of a lifetime. I would never expect this from USA Today. I might have to change my opinion of USA Today. Here's what they have to say. This article, Harris is awful, but left's love of identity politics means Democrats are stuck with her. Okay. I'm just going to read this whole article here. It's pretty good. President Joe Biden has finally bowed out of his re-election campaign and endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris as his successor. In doing so, Biden and his party have undermined the democratic process at every step. Democratic delegates who are pledged to Biden must now throw their weight behind Harris or risk an open convention. They must do that even though they surely realize how bad all this looks for the party and that has spent the past 4 years accusing Republicans of undermining the 2020 election results. They also surely know that Harris isn't the best person to represent the Democratic Party. Yet, delegates must support Harris not only because of Biden's endorsement, but also because they're shackled by their party's radical embrace of identity politics. Like, how good of a start is that to an article? It's like crazy. It seems like they're actually trying to, really report good news and opinions. Democrats have no real choice but to back Kamala Harris. For years, the Democratic Party has championed woke identity politics. Its definition is at once obscured but obvious. Progressives have demanded that race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and gender preferences be paramount in nearly every walk of life, from politics to higher education, corporate industries to entertainment and media. Harris, at the time of a first-term senator representing California, the most progressive state in the country, ran for the presidency in 2020. Her campaign failed spectacularly. It was so bad that she dropped out before the first primary, and even NBC News described her bid for the White House as a mess. I love how they say that, even NBC News, because they know how bad NBC News is. Yet Biden still picked her to be his vice president. She has done nothing in the past 4 years to show she is ready to be president, and the prospect of her serving as commander-in-chief is downright scary. Her policy positions are even more progressive than Biden's. That's if you can nail down what her politics are. She seems to flip-flop as much as the next slimy politician. In 2019, she was ranked the most liberal U.S. senator in America, beating out even Bernie Sanders of Vermont and Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts. As California's Attorney General, Harris earned a reputation for being tough on crime. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but a lot of conservatives and libertarians will look down on her penchant for being unusually tough on petty crimes like marijuana possession. As vice president, it's hard to say what Harris has accomplished. In 2021, Biden assigned her the job of addressing the migrant crisis at the U.S. border with Mexico. Her efforts with that task have been almost as successful as her 2020 presidential campaign. Observers in her home state of California note that Harris has lacked consistency on key issues such as public safety. What does she stand for? What can she do? Why has none of this been a problem for her political ascension? Because Harris, the first Black, South Asian, and female president of the United States, is the trifecta of identity politics: Black, female, and liberal. Like, this article is just, I'm surprised it got past the editor, because it's just got all of it in there. It's just saying it as it is. Harris wasn't ready to be president 4 years ago. The fact she polled at 3% when she dropped out of the race in 2020 is an indication of that. But the Democratic Party paired with her with a much stronger at the time politician. Now she'll have to do much more on her own, but she won't because she's not capable. Democrats have been intensely focused on Donald Trump's shortcomings, real and imagined, since 2016. I'm a conservative, and I've bashed him many times, yet Democrats failed to see that their own candidate was inept and unqualified for the job until the whole world could see it on the debate stage last month. Harris deserves a large portion of the blame for this. Biden's inner circle had to have known for some time that he was unwell and unfit to serve a second term. Of course they knew. Everybody knew. It's just they're just continuing to push this can down the road. I think they just, unfortunately, this wasn't the plan. I think the plan was to get him past this election. Hopefully he would beat Trump, and then they do whatever they do at that point. It doesn't matter as long as they got him past that point. But they came up a little short of that goal, I think. As vice president, Harris had to have known it as well. But she kept quiet and helped to keep the con going, perhaps for her own gain, but at least for the sake of her party. If Democratic convention delegates choose Harris, voters will quickly realize she is not the best choice to lead this country. She will likely fail and fail miserably. And it's as if they chose. Obviously they're going to choose her. Voters must understand this. The Democratic Party, including Vice President Harris, lied to you repeatedly, propping up a presidential candidate who had no business running for a re-election, let alone leading this country. So, yeah. So, yeah, this article was honestly, I don't know if I'm reporting on Kamala Harris being so awful or this article being just good from USA Today. Applause for USA Today. You might have made the list of actual news here on an opinion piece that wasn't that's what I'm looking for. It didn't drive a narrative. It just kind of said the truth that I think most people can see. Whether you're a never Trumper or or you're just a staunch Democrat. I think anybody with half a brain can see that Harris is not really the candidate that you should be pushing for this. But it points out, it exposes a whole ton of other things. Unfortunately, some holes in the whole ship, if you will, of what this race is actually all about. And why would you put somebody in there that clearly couldn't even get past the primaries in her first run and now has done nothing and is your presumptive candidate? It's very strange. So we'll have to see how things go, I guess.